Amazing. John, we're live now.
Are we?
We are live.
I didn't realize you can actually put a link in the post, so I'm gonna just make it easier for people.
Yes.
And just repost that. I didn't know you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some new Instagram stuff that I'm not privy to.
Well,
What's up?
Everybody joining us from the live, welcome. If this is your first time, it's really good to have you.
Yeah.
Wave at the camera, everybody.
What's up, everybody?
Hi.
And if you've been here before, it's good to have you back. I want to just briefly give an agenda overview of what's expected today and kind of why we're here. So big shout out to Just for the Record. This is the Just for the Record live series, and essentially its goal is to highlight quiet heavy hitters and get people together and share ideas, and hopefully you can take that back and make better music because of it. So I've had a lot of time sitting with John. I'm very grateful the past year, and it's really fun to get other people in the room and do the same with producers and artists and writers that we love. So today we are joined by Andrew Luce, Linus, and JJ Scheff, and
What's up,
Chef
guys?
John.
Hey. Hey, guys.
But we're gonna chat, hang. We have a song today that was actually made by Linus. It's Linus's song, produced by Andrew Luce, and a few other friends. Who are the friends that helped?
Tim Randolph and Taylor Mackaw.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
It's the coolest thing to be able to work in this setting live with the people that actually made the record in the room, because we didn't do that for the first one, which Andrew was a returning guest. But the second one we did was super exciting because we mixed the song for the producers in the room, and that
Nice.
feedback, getting the notes, I'm going to take a pass and I'm just going to fuck around for maybe an hour or so, and you're going to keep your mouth shut.
I will.
And then you're going to be like, I would love to hear a little bit more of this, and we're going to go back and forth, and that's what the collaborative process is supposed to be like, and that's kind of lost in the black box mix engineer world that we live in, where you just send off a session, let's see what happens. Obviously if you have a relationship with someone over the course of many years, you're going to pretty much understand what you're going to get back and have some expectations, but to actually do it in real time is how it used to be done for so long. So I'm stoked to get to
Do you
this.
like mixing with the artists in the room?
I do after first pass.
Okay.
To come in and finish with notes. It's very rare that people do that, but I'm open to it. I do like it. I don't like it in the initial, this is a little bit nerve-wracking for me,
Yeah.
but I know Linus, I know Andrew, I'm excited for this in the process. It's different because we're also trying to be somewhat educational here. I'm trying to, I've talked and talked and talked on so many lives, and getting to just have people witness the moves that are made based on the philosophies they've heard from me for so long, that genuinely gets rid of some of the nerves that I would normally have, because I know the purpose of this.
Yeah.
But just on a random Tuesday, if someone was going to show up, I don't know.
Yeah.
But also, I think it depends how much the artist has already gotten out of the track what they want from it, and if they're still searching in the mixing stage and the mastering stage for what they want. And personally, I feel like Andrew, Taylor, Tim, and I were able to get to a really beautiful place within ourselves with this track where we're just already happy. Yeah. And so anything that you really do here is just a beautiful plus that we can just enjoy.
Yeah, so you're looking for the mild Taco Bell sauce.
we already found what we were looking for.
Yeah, you don't want the extra spicy.
Yeah.
You want a little just mild,
Yeah.
low sodium.
Yeah, with the low sodium mix.
do y'all want to tell us a little bit about the song and kind of before we get into it?
Yeah, I should say I haven't heard it yet, so.
Yeah.
That's really exciting to me. But this was made about 2 years ago, I believe. 1.5 years ago. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
at your
think so.
old place.
It was a minute ago.
The homie Taylor, he's amazing at ukulele and piano, and this is him duetting himself on ukulele. It's a beautiful part, and sort of the intro track for my project, and just really classical form, and I tried to make the vocals, the melodies as classical as possible, but also, put my own lyrical style in there as well, and really love it.
I'm excited to hear you emote over a record with this arrangement that I can just see based on the names.
We're gonna be emoting.
I know that's about to happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring out the
Yeah, emotes.
Before we start, because we had a little off-camera version of this, but because we have a returning guest here, Andrew, I know you specified that on this song, because it's been created, you said 2 years ago, maybe not as much influence from the last time, but just for people that have paid attention, that are returning viewers of this, like any moves that you've changed or switched on more current projects, based on our learnings in the last session.
Yeah, for sure. I'm still trying to figure some of your tricks out. But I think I was never like, I really loved watching you use Spectre last time, and I was never working like very additively with anything. And also just watching you do like some really big swings, like I feel like I've been playing around with that more.
A lot of go floss.
Yeah, 200% Gullfoss. I was saying I already
That's a
put
big
on
swing.
every single stem,
Gold.
which yeah, makes
And the buses too, right?
yeah, the buses as well. Yeah,
that's-
and the verbs,
Yeah.
just everything.
Honestly, that might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe on the returns, on the verbs and effects.
Yeah, but
I might do that today just for fun.
yeah, but regardless, excited to be here again. I know the track well, and I think that's gonna bring a whole different kind of education to today. And like Linus said, we're already like really happy with where it's at. But we know you're just gonna take
don't
it to
fuck it up.
Pluto. Yeah, no,
Fuck it up.
full belief.
So, just a quick random story about not fucking it up. I did a mix for this French artist recently, and I kind of stopped smoking weed, like, I don't know, maybe like a year or two ago, after doing it for quite some time, because like when my output got a lot higher, no pun intended actually there, I was not able to remember who the managers and the A&Rs and like the team, so I just thought that part was really unprofessional of me to just be stoned, and like, the creative process is really fun, but I would take hours on a mix, like more than usual, and I would do so much, and people would be like, that's like, sounds great, but like we just wanted a little, a little bit, like, and I do less of that when I'm not smoking. And last weekend, I had already done this mix, and the note was, hey, the kick is crunching the the limiter a little too much, or the clipper a little too much in the chorus. Can you back that off in the chorus? And I had just smoked, and I pressed play, and I was like, oh, I can mix this so much better. So I started over from the beginning. And I spent another like 3 or 4 hours, mixed it, sent it back, and they were just like, so we just really wanted the kick lower in the chorus. And I was like, just wasted 4 hours. And what the funniest bit to me was the fact that, honestly, if this was the first pass, I think this was an objectively more compelling mix. I think it was deeper sounding, a bit more three-dimensional, a bit more like less focus on the vocal, and the vocal being a bit more in the soundscape of things, and a bit more of like a collage, and like maybe what you would expect like a more stoned performance to feel like, something a bit more dreamy and less crunchy, less hard knocking, like which normally I would do, which then learning that that's why they came to an American mix engineer to make like their indie music like knock a bit more. Then I understood, a little bit more. But objectively, I think it was a better mix for the song. But I understood why they wanted to go back.
You can rest assured knowing that we've already smoked all of the weed in the process of making the song.
It's nice to use it, but then when you like, sometimes it can use you. For sure.
I just think that a lot of the times, as the mixer in the process, is to. I was talking to my old assistant and protege about this at dinner last night. We went on a little double date, had some good wine, and talking about the how much thought has gone into the songwriting, to the production, to the the over analytical. Whoever's in the room, you're bringing in another producer to work on the arrangement after the fact. Everyone's been thinking about it. And our job is to stop thinking and try to bring it back to its magical first moments, and try to understand those bits that you can tell that you just told me. You told me the ukulele started. It's a duet on a ukulele, and like I maybe would know that by pressing play, but now I actually know that, right? So I'm going to base the mix probably around that bit. And I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to let it flow. The thought has been had, and there's when a mixer is too much of an engineer and less like feeling what the record is supposed to be and being compelled through the journey and then creating that arc, that's a different kind of thought process.
That's
where
right.
like the engineer thought process is too much.
Yeah.
It's too much for music.
Yeah.
It's not too much for, you know, coding some sort of like AI robot or something. That needs to be maximal.
Yeah.
You know, everything thought about, and I'm trying to like mitigate thought in the process.
That's
'cause
how
you've
I've been
already
feeling-
done it.
That's how I've been feeling about life recently. Is there's been a lot of thought happening, and now it's time to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we're here,
Yes.
and let's do this.
I tend to want to just be a doer mixer. So on
Yeah.
the note, let's
Yeah.
fucking go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's listen.
Let's go.
Does your passion walk beside you? Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain of a ship caught in a storm? Wanting to be someone that you've been since you were born. As the waves crash all around you, you say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside, and now power to the engines, fight against the tide, know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your inside, make it turn and face away? Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy and leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this all was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's
okay.
go.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's really good.
You say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside, and now power to the engines, fight against the tide, know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright.
Are you in that weird solo mode again, just for the record?
I love it.
Why?
This is beautiful. Someone also said.
Watch solo. I need the bass in here.
Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy and leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind.
Tabby, you say.
Waves crash all around you. You say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside, and now power to the engines, fight against the tide, know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides, make it turn and face away? Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy and leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. You, who you've come to be, crazy as it is, this song was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before. Slowly learning how to love you, who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this song was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something. Learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this song was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. Learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this song was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before. Learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this song was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before. Found you, you say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside. And now power to the engines, fight against the tide. Know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides, make you turn and face away? Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy and leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. May end up finding joy and leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. Circles in your mind. Circles in your mind. circles in your mind. Slowly learning how to love circles in your mind. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this soul was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this soul was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before. Circles in your mind. Circles in your mind. Circles in your mind. Circles in your mind. And since you were born, as the waves crash all around you, you say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside. And now power to the engines, fight against the tide. Know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides, make you turn and face away? Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy and leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. Slowly learning how to love you
And right there.
Was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line.
There can be. Yeah.
Bounce.
Walk beside you. Does it wash out in the rain? Does your passion walk beside you? Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to? Does your passion walk beside you? Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain of a ship caught in a storm? Wanting to be someone that you've been since you were born. As the waves crash all around you, you say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside, and now something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before.
Jeez.
All right, quick sprint.
Jeez. Sounds great.
At the end.
Nice pass.
At the end, I just put everything into C, but background's got to be sculpted the way everything
Totally.
is. And
Love it though, man. Love it.
it's a bit more of a bounce when it's like,
Talk to me about that automation you were doing.
oh, the wow, like the tape flutter.
Yeah.
At the end of like a verb sustain, so it just wouldn't stay in the same key. It's
Yeah.
Just like, ugh.
Set it.
Add more tension and like do
Love it.
something weirder into the mix of like when the piano comes in and like intonation issues. you know.
But you're automating that with the mouse in real time. That's sick. That's great.
It's just the amount of the, like I do like my preset that I use on a lot of things. Like, basically the philosophy is so many sounds like people, make out of a synth or something,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even guitars are just so in tune.
Yeah.
Just in vocals, like they're auto-tuned, and then like the throw is auto-tuned, so everything's perfectly in tune. And like that's not how music. Like,
I mean, you need
is.
that real bite, that real edge.
Yeah. So I just use a subtle, like it's like a 10%,
Yeah.
of what like a wow and flutter on a
Love it.
tape machine would do.
Love it.
And I'm just automating it on the end of the tail, so the
Yeah.
initial impact's the same. And then I'm just,
Well, JJ was just saying how you're really making it a duet between the ukulele and the vocals, which is really beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I picked up. It sounds like, I feel like he's really, were these stems, like flattened stems?
Yeah.
Okay, of like the last mix that you did?
Yeah, it's a little confusing because again it went to Tim last, but Tim had my printed stems too. So yeah, I don't know if you were given the briefing that there's like two references and one is like a or like a sound reference and one is like a production reference.
Josh did tell me that. I totally forgot it till just
yeah,
now.
but yeah, they were.
Which
I
one is
think
this one?
This is, I mean, what we're listening to is the proper arrangement of it. But yeah, I don't want to speak for you, but I think you usually ask for the printed stems, right? Yeah, I wanted. There's
Always.
one thing. There's one thing I
Why
wanted.
is that?
Y'all are in love with what you did, like we expressed already in the
Facts.
beginning.
Yeah. I
So
like
we're
that.
taking it there and improving it. We can always go back to what
Right.
it was.
Yeah.
Right.
Always.
Besides any like Mixbus processing, which for me is pretty subtle, you can always get back to something. That's kind of the thought behind it all.
I wanted to ask you one thing. I think that we made this song, if I'm remembering correctly, I had just gotten this U67 mic and like had been exploring some gear. And I think I hadn't gotten my own tube tech yet, but I think I was borrowing a friend of mine's and I was probably smashing it. And there's a lot of I just remember like in the process of me trying to get it a little better, like a lot of S stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw you using the Weiss de-esser last time. Can we just open that up real quick and see what it's doing? Because I feel like you fixed in Senkit's what.
But I also did a huge EQ dip
Okay, I see.
before
I see.
the de-esser.
Yeah, nice.
Which sounds like the 67 spike.
Yeah.
And that's just like you hearing it and dragging. There's no like formula to that. Yeah.
I also
Just heard that right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very like technical question, but I noticed that you like this curve shape a lot, like what you use. Can you explain why?
Someone asked me that
That was
recently.
It was one of our other streams too.
It was a conversation between Dale Becker and I, my mastering engineer I used on.
Yeah,
my
no,
Lead
Dale
Vox.
is
You know Dale?
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dale and I analyzed the two and just listened, and we thought that the, every EQ has a phase bump, right? So unless you're in linear phase EQ mode, which no one ever should be, because that fucks with transients and impact. Unless you're doing some like super technical like voiceover shit, maybe fixing spikes would be, but I never use it. So you're getting a phase bump on the outsides, and I've just noticed the softness of that bump, like a little bit less of that bump on the 24 dB per octave thing. Super geeky. I also like the way it looks. Let's
Me
be
too.
real.
Me too. Yeah.
But it does sound smoother to me on EQ dips. It forces your cues to be a little bit more precise and narrow, right? Like that, the default, I guess it's 12 or 18. It's just so wide.
Yeah.
It's so rounded out and wide, and this forces me to be a little more precise with my EQs and my cue size in general.
Nice.
Which I don't like to just do like super broad, wide dips. I don't understand it. It just sounds like volume to me.
Yeah.
You know, when I think about balances and I see like an EQ. So another reason to talk about the stem issue, like that you asked, like how you want printed stems, kind of, you said flattened, I would just call them wet, processed stems, is that I'm a super geek. So if I look at someone's plugins, I don't like the way that they did something, I'm going to change it just based on the fact that it's not the way I want it, which is insulting to someone. That's like, what? If I don't like the attack speed on your compressor, I'm like, oh, I could make this better. It's like, can I, or do I just not like your attack speed? Do I not like where your knob is? And I'm just being honest.
That's hilarious.
My aesthetic.
That's funny though to think of like the psychology behind that, because like that could very much like stop you from like doing what you just did. You know, just seeing that,
seeing that
shit
versus this is what it's at. We all like it like this.
Yeah,
let's move forward.
It's beautiful. That's such a.
I do like I would complain. If it wasn't sounding as good as it already is, I would complain about having the Verb printed.
Okay.
I would like to have the Verb separate. I'd like to have the Verb separate, but I'm gonna work around that, and it sounds great. The Verb choice is very good. I wouldn't want to do a different Verb. I would just want to change some of the vocal EQ different than the Verb. So I'm a little bit boxed in on that. Again, it's not offensive. I'm not like, it's not gonna make or break the end product. But I would dip some things in the Verb to let the Verb sit a little bit behind the vocal. That's the only like issue I would have in a stem session like this.
Okay.
And I would maybe ask.
Right.
You know, if we were to do a final mix after today's live, I might be like, maybe we should try that.
Nice.
You know, also going back to mine on a mix like this, I have more gear that I use at home that I like that's not here that I could go. You know, I usually finish everything I'm doing here at home. But it usually takes me, like Moritz and I talk about it, just because I'm also analyzing and judging the room while I'm working here. This is a different space for me. Yeah. This room is fucking amazing sounding. It usually takes me about 10 to 20 minutes to finish a mix at home after working here for hours.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's very close to what I'm used to translating. But sometimes you get things baked in, and you ask for them. You know, I could call Andrew and be like, hey, you know, if I know the producer, I can just be like, hey, can we get that a little separated? Yeah. Oh, actually, we can't because so-and-so did this to that. Then I go, okay. You know, but I'll ask usually.
Yeah, I'm sure people are pretty willing too for that type of thing.
But like, say you sent it like that to Tim, and then Tim cut a thing, and it's moved, and like for you to recreate that, it would just be, you know, you got other songs to worry about. Like we're not gonna.
Like, how far do you go to sacrifice the moment for technical?
Exactly.
You know, perfection. Like
exactly.
There's a line.
Is a line, and I'm aware of the line a lot of the time. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if you noticed, but like I listened down almost the whole way through, and I was like, there's just not enough bass, right? Yeah. So like you pick the thing to move on, and the thing I moved on was the bass, and then that vocal EQ S thing, because the S's are distracting from you know, the body of Linus, which is like what we all want. We don't need him to say S's, you know. It's like not really what we're all about, and that's a mic thing, right? And you're learning that, and you're experiencing what the CL1B negatives are of smashing it, right? Yeah. Right. I don't think it's negative enough to say that we didn't capture what was needed to be captured.
For sure,
right?
yeah. A couple more quick things. I know that last time I was here, we talked a lot about clipping stuff, and I'm seeing there's also some people in the chat that are interested about it. But I noticed like one of the first things you did was like a Mixbus clipper. Is that correct?
Oh, you mean clipping? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was using it to match your rough mix level. So when I'm A-Bing, I'm A-Bing to the same level match, which I'll get to. I think your mix may be for this style of music like a little bit too loud.
Yeah.
But right now I'm matching level. So when I'm making decisions, I'm hearing, again, these are broad strokes, like quick sprint. I was just matching level with the clipper.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And another selfish question, but just the clipping on the vocal, like what leads you to that over using like or what, I guess, what were you trying to get out of that? Because I noticed that was also one of the first things you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are hard questions to answer because I don't know. When I put a compressor on a vocal, I don't like it. And when I put a clipper on the vocal and I turn it up and I gain match it and I saturate, I tend to like that.
Wow.
It's a taste thing. I don't think you can't get the same result with or a highly desirable result, I should say, out of a compressor. Yeah. Someone else doing it different than I.
Yeah.
I like saturation, so I like dynamic control via saturation more than a
Yeah,
compressor.
no, totally.
And saturation is compression, right? It's just doing it differently. It's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
shaping.
no, I've been really impressed because
I clip a lot, but not audibly, not
Yeah.
audible clipping.
Yeah.
So you use the slope and you know to soften it and to push it forward and backwards, right? So the speed of the or the density of the slope will push things forward or back. If you're hard clipping, it's fucking hard and it's going to be more forward, right?
Yeah.
It's like a hard clip, distorted sound is going to just be like really aggressive, and a soft clipper will mush things back a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'll use the slope to give that proximity.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah,
vocal.
no, it's cool because again, like I think we've gone for such like a clean approach with this song in particular. Throughout the project, there's a lot nastier moments.
Mhm.
But this song I feel like is one of the most like gentle. But yeah, it was cool. It's not something I would have thought of, but I really liked what it did.
But it's not distorting.
yeah, no, it's
Right?
just giving it a little extra.
I would actually say on the
little extra
AB
taste.
that where we're at now with the mix is a cleaner
Yeah, no,
approach.
I agree. Yeah, that's
using distortion plugins.
yeah,
Nice.
it's
You know,
bizarre.
It's very intentional.
Yeah,
I've-
just one more, and then I promise I'll try.
No,
and shut
this
up
is what it's all
clipping.
about. It's more about this than it is about this.
Yeah,
right?
but-
Like, I could do this in my
First,
home by myself.
yeah, I wanted to just ask first why you are leaving me with more plugins to buy once again, and also
They're
I
all
noticed,
cheap plugins, so it
Yeah.
shouldn't matter to you. You got diamonds on your neck.
It's true.
That is
Yeah,
facts.
sure.
Yeah,
Damn,
it does have
checkmate.
The neck and wrist don't lie.
straight up. But
Pro Pusha T. It's my favorite.
I wanted to yeah.
Yeah, I mean, guilty. I'm not.
I wanted to ask about this Acoustica clipper.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, I know it's or at least I think a lot of these plugins are doing the same thing more or less, but why are you reaching for that now?
Okay, so another Dale conversation on the Fire the Clip. So I was using the big clipper, which to me felt more dynamic and had more control than the T-Rax clipper. And this is all on the Mixbus, for example, right? So with the T-Rax, it's easy. It's an input, there's an output, and there's a slope, right? So we talked about that. So for vocals, to me, it's how I'm almost ending a chain, right? I'm just trying to maximize volume and intensity and placement and proximity in the mix with that. So that's more of like a limiter approach using that. It's not very one size fits all for anything but that for me. And what I was noticing was this really interesting low mid glue to the mix when I did the T-Rax clipper on it. It would give everything like this kind of lush forward feel, and it would kind of blur the background to me, which kind of felt modern to a degree. A lot of mixers mix like that, and I never was like that. I'm more of a three-dimensional mixer, which doesn't really like translate when you have to make things super loud. So I've been trying to fuck with doing both, like not losing my aesthetic and my taste, but also making things loud and what
Yeah.
people want.
Why do you think that is? Because at least to my understanding, like clipping is clipping usually, right? Isn't it like a pretty black and white?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. I guess
I
not.
don't think so. I
Yeah.
don't think so. I mean, like a lot of mixers use the Lavery Gold, A to D converter, and it has a built-in soft clipper in there. That's why they like it, so they can hit it, and it soft clips, and you don't hear it theoretically because it's $20,000 piece of gear, and they've worked on, everything to make it sound like a thing. And that's why people soft clip and say they can get things -6, -5, and you can't hear it. It's like, well, you can't hear the transients either. Like, it's gone. It's all gone. And when you turn things like that down on DSPs, you're losing impact because you're losing transients. When you mix quieter, you can have more dynamic control and more transients, which translates to loudness later after the fact. But it's harder to sell someone on a mix when you're competing against an overly limited or clipped rough mix from the producer. Which is not anybody's fault, except for we now all have access to these tools and don't understand what they're doing. We're just told we're supposed to use them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say this in the most polite way possible,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
honestly, I think that the loudness war has been going on. We could talk about this for days since the 30s, when people were we're trying to make things sound loud and translate to, you know, to a vinyl. And like, this isn't a new concept, and the rock took it over the edge, and now we're kind of pulling back, and R&B had a moment where things were a bit softer and rounder. You physically, like scientifically speaking, can't get a full 60 hertz cycle at a -5, -6 loudness level. There's not enough space headroom-wise to actually let a full cycle of 60 hertz develop. So you're not getting real low end when it comes to that level of loudness. So for me, I'm not really into that. Like, I don't understand like why you do that except for to make something sound good in a phone, so you hear overtones in a bass on a phone. And I think that's great too. I just think there's a way to do both.
Yeah.
So why I think that's happening is because people have access to tools they don't understand, would be my short answer. And then the lack of trust for what it's going to sound like after the fact when Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon and Tidal get their hands on it and then normalize everything to a certain thing. The quieter mixes that sound closer to where the algorithm is turning down will wind up sounding louder.
Right.
Radio too. Radio winds up sounding crushed. You know, they already have their compression algorithms. Like, why are we catering to anything else but what we want music to sound like? The radio is going to do what the radio does anyway.
Yeah.
So that's a long-winded response to. I think it's necessary to compete, but I'm usually competing against you and what you've delivered, not what other people are doing.
Nice.
And not me. Like, that's what we're all doing. All mixers are like, oh, the rough was like that, so we should probably keep it like that. And I try to use Clippers, the Spectre, more additive approaches to bring level down, or apparent level down. Like, the true LUFS might be quieter, but it feels as loud because you're remaking the upper mid-range presence with bits that we're giving you that energy that's coming from the loudness, but we're going to do it in a more, like, you know, technical way, mixer way. So, oh, well, I can now hear, if I take your mix bus off, let's just say that I had access to stems without a mix bus, and I had your mix bus on my Pro Tools session, I can hear what that is doing to the individual stems. And instead of doing it on one bus to everything, I can say, oh, well, that's doing a really good thing to the synths and bringing that forward. Why don't I do that here with Spectre? Why don't I broad stroke add presence to your synths here? And then maybe we'll do this to the vocal a little bit lower. So we're slotting the vocals a little bit lower. We're not relying on the mix bus to finish for us.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
But that's the philosophy behind it all. Sometimes that doesn't quite work because the mix bus is doing so much heavy lifting.
Yeah.
I think it's disappointing. I don't think as producers, songwriters, musicians, we're supposed to have cared about a mix bus. I think the mix engineer was supposed to care about the mix bus. The recording engineer was supposed to care about signal flow and gain staging. It's not your job to have to worry about that, or it shouldn't be. I think understanding technical prowess and you know, and tips and tricks from people are cool. I don't. That's not your job.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I love that. I never really thought about, like, I think there's a lot of easy plugins nowadays that even I'm guilty of using, where like you'll throw it on the mix and like most of it sounds better, so you're like, yeah, this is good. But like listening to what it's doing to everything and thinking if you can go in individually to avoid maybe a negative that it's adding to is helpful.
I think
like that.
I'm also guilty of it. We probably talked about it in episode 1, but I also spent most of my life being in the room as a producer and also putting those plugins on at the end of a session because an A&R wanted to bounce. I just put a FabFilter Pro L on it and clamped down for 8 dB just to get it to be loud enough. But because I'm an engineer, I would know that I'm going to change that after the fact and kind of how I'm going to do it. And every time I did it, I'd be like, but that's not what it sounded like when we were making it. Like, this is just to appease an A&R? Like, I don't really understand that. Like, invite them to the room, press play on it, and turn up the speaker volume and let them approve it then. Like, you need them to approve it on their shitty fucking whatever office speakers. Like, that's going to make or break a hit song, is the way the A&R or a manager hears it in their shitty environment. That's not going to make or break. And if the A&R relies on a limiter to tell you if it's a hit, they don't understand what a good song is. Right. So, and that's the way I'm always going to come at it. I don't think that, I do think a bad mix can fuck up a great song. I think a great mix can enhance an even greater song and
Yeah.
make it a better song. So I
Yeah.
think that there's definitely something wrong with mixing a record just for the sake of mixing it because it's a formality.
Yeah.
And just having anybody do it. I think you can ruin great songs that way.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for answering all that. Can I give you one pesky note?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably not pesky.
The little dung dung, like there's like a uke harmonic that happens right before what I guess is verse 2.
Yeah,
I don't even
I know what
really
you're talking
know
about.
what the
Yeah.
arrangement of the song is, but I think you added like one of the wavy things on it.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah, I like
I
it.
knew you were
I
going to
like
say that.
Just
I left it there because I knew I wanted this to happen.
You
He's
succeeded.
testing.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love it everywhere else. Yeah.
Harmonically, that's way too weird. Yeah. I know,
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Yeah,
changed.
well, I feel like it's like finding the balance between like Linus. I don't want to speak for Linus, but we love like weird, trippy, like spatial stuff,
Yeah.
especially on a song like this where I feel like there's a lot of room to play with. Like, keep going crazy.
You just tell me when to walk it back.
Yeah, I think like just for some reason that one element I feel like keeps it feeling like in the discussion of making this song feeling like what it was like with like Taylor playing that in front of us and just being like, damn, we're about to make like the next Sopranos or like Narcos season 3.
I saw that in this.
Literally, exactly.
So
That sounds like the Narcos intro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's way better than it actually.
Javier Pena.
Yeah, but
I'll walk it back. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, other than that, it's been a pleasure.
Cool.
Yeah. And even that was a pleasure.
Yeah.
So something you said earlier that I didn't understand because I'm just nowhere near as technically versed as any of you guys, or at least my vocabulary with this stuff. But you said that it takes a certain amount of time for the 60 hertz cycle to actualize itself. So does each hertz range have an amount of time that it takes to happen?
Yeah.
Like
oh my
fully?
God! I just heard this. I'm gonna. I don't know the exact number.
That really stuck out to
But
me.
a 3 hertz wave is like many miles long.
But you can quantify it in time, and you can say this hertz
It
range
all makes
isn't
sense.
happening for long enough, and that's why it's not hitting.
Yes,
That's awesome.
without a doubt.
Is
Without a doubt.
do you know those times?
A 60 hertz cycle is, I think, 30 feet long. So which is why,
What does that mean?
meaning
Like for
this
a full
room,
30 hertz.
the crest and trough of a wave.
Yeah, one wave.
And so if it's a
30 feet. So that's why you have rooms at a certain certain dimensions. And that's why you have treatment like this. If your room is not
So if
30
it-
feet,
if it's 30
you want to
feet,
absorb
though.
the bass before it reflects back at you before it's completed. So your ears can hear. That's why studios are...
how do you
I'm
change?
sorry. No, I know it's like not esoteric, but it sounds like really like.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's very scientific.
Yeah.
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 But so you like time wise, how do you change the feet into time?
Okay, this is a really good question. We're gonna split.
We don't have to
we're
go
gonna
that
split
long
the room
here.
here
We
in
don't
the
have to-
chat, and
yeah.
people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" I just
Yeah.
press play.
Yeah.
But
No, I think people are loving it.
Yeah.
okay, to me, it's about. Let's just go based on feeling. To me, because it doesn't matter the time frame. Like
Right.
it's seconds, right? So you're never going to get the full cycle in the amount of time that the transient, like the visual.
Yeah.
Say, let's use the bass drum for
Yeah.
example, because that's where this is really like important to me. When you hear lengths of drums, that's the groove, right?
Yeah.
The groove is the length and the space between hits.
Yeah.
That's what gives swing. That's what gives feel. That's what makes you be like, that's a great drummer. Like the way that they hit.
Yeah.
And then the time between the hits, based on tempo, obviously.
Mm.
Right. So if you're using a limiter, you're changing that length
Yeah.
and that feel. If you're using a saturator, anything I'm doing, I'm trying to minimize the change in the feel of the performance at hand.
Right.
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 So for me, that's mostly focused in the low end. It's more forgiving up top because things are so fast. Hi-hats, the length of hi-hats. If you limit them a bit too much, you're not going to be like, oh, that hi-hat is so long now. It's like very.
Yeah.
I doubt that you would say that. But a kick drum, you'll know right away. I can
Yeah.
show you. I can demonstrate. You don't have a bass drum in this song, so
No.
that one downbeat. But if I use the bass drum, and I went and limited, so the LUFS of the sound would be -5. The length of that drum will feel shorter and more choked then the sample that visually was longer than that, right? So I don't know the exact amount of time.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about feel and length.
No, totally. And I might have sounded a little stupid.
No, you don't at
attacking
all.
that, but
I
question.
guarantee
yeah,
that
great question.
nobody's thinking about this when they're making a record,
Yeah, right.
nor should they.
Right.
But if I can offer some insight, it would be that in order to get low end that we're used to hearing in hip hop records,
Yeah.
pop records of the early 2000s and before,
Yeah.
they were using less limiting.
Yeah.
They were quieter mixes, and the sustain of the drums felt,
Yeah.
I guess, what we would refer to as fatter.
Yeah.
And that to me is like a desired
sound.
Well, I like what you were just
sound.
saying just now too about how you're trying to get back to the performance,
Mhm.
and it's a reminder for everyone that the performance is what is most important.
Yes.
The song,
Yes.
not like you. The sounds are the sounds when the song is amazing.
Yes.
You know, and you write something incredible. You're not worrying about what the sounds are.
No.
It's incredible.
Now there's something to
You
say
know?
if you don't have a 9'2" Steinway grand piano,
It's true.
and
true.
the sustain of that does not need a compressor.
No.
But if you don't have that sustain and you want like this big enveloping grand piano sound, you might want to try using something like a Fairchild or
Yeah.
those classic like, you know, time constant release and attack
Yeah.
limiter style things that will make your piano sustain held up more. And like we can talk technically about that. Compression can help the sustain of an instrument, but it can also ruin the performance
Yeah.
because it's now feels choked.
Yeah.
But grand piano is a good example of it benefits. Like I'm using a limiter with a
Yeah.
slower release on this grand piano to get all of that sustain held up.
Yeah.
Because when that comes in, it brings a weight to the record. It brings something that isn't in there when it's floating and this is
Yeah.
all transient.
Yeah.
When that comes in, I want that to feel longer and held up and
Yeah.
creates tension. I'm using a limiter for that. So I am using a technical tool
Yeah.
for that.
I'm learning a lot. Thank you, John.
Um,
I wanted to mention one thing about clipping because I think it's worth mentioning in our conversation if we went deep on it.
Mhm.
So one thing I've noticed John doing a lot is using clippers, like different clippers for different reasons, but like I think it's also worth mentioning you use those and do things afterwards that are also super important
Yes.
by adding in transients. So if people are like, oh, that's how he gets his tone, that's wrong.
Mhm.
And
It's a
so,
really good point.
and I think that like it's kind of that finesse between knowing when you've pushed things too far to get a sound and then adding things back so that you're like competing or beating what you already had. So I think it's not just clipping, it's like saturation and clipping and getting the tone and then adding in those transients to make sure you're competitive.
And EQing and shaping the tone in and out of it,
Yeah.
right?
And
Like I don't want to clip terrible frequencies, right? So I'm going to do my more subtractive, like highly subtractive, like before the clipper, right? So on that vocal, first thing I did was take out that whatever, that high dip. And then I'm clipping after that because I don't want to clip the shit. Like you take the shit out, clip it, and then now, like I wish you can do this visually, but I think of it like two hands on a piano, right? You got the melody hand and you have your, supportive chordal hand. Unless you're Bill Evans and you're just like all around here like a fucking G, you're mostly separated up here and doing your vocal melody. And I hear a lot of mixes sound like this. So I'm constantly trying to do this and balancing out, like you would have a composition on a keyboard and like Mozart and everybody's been composing on a keyboard for so long, and then it gets orchestrated either by them or someone else, right? So the arranger and the producer is the orchestrator, but the composer, you theoretically should be able to voice it out on a keyboard, whatever the important bits are. And if you can't do that, then you can't sing it around a campfire, and then it's not really a real song, and then it's just like an idea that gets hyped from TikTok or whatever. So that being said, same thing with the frequency spectrum on every instrument. What's bad about it that is not making it feel balanced and even, and I'm not saying that like every sound has to be full spectrum. That's impossible and you can't mix like that. But if there's something that's dramatically like this, if I clip it, it's just going to make it louder like this. But if I bring this down and then clip it up, it stays even, right? And then you're getting more surface area of a balanced full sound that just, then you can get more level.
Equity.
Yeah, there's more.
Are you
exactly.
mixing right now with that original clipper that you put on the mix?
Yeah.
Okay. Why like you can give me the short answer for this because I dare say I may already know the answer. I don't know.
No, I hope you do.
But why that instead of like throwing like a limiter or something on it?
Yeah, I used to do that. What do you think your answer is?
As soon as that came out of my mouth, I realized I wish I hadn't said it.
I-
But I also want to like ask, as like a sub question, because I feel like from various YouTube videos and conversations I've had, I know that there's a lot of people out there that are like, you should never mix with anything on the thing, or on like the
Nobody
mix
that makes
bus.
records at any high level says that.
Okay, yeah,
That
sure.
is an incorrect statement.
But
You'll lose.
why? Okay, so I guess so. Why?
And if anybody says that on the Mixbus, they're doing it on subgroups.
True.
Right.
But I guarantee, like almost every mixer has a Mixbus of some sort. That's
Right.
finalized.
Well, so backstepping for a second, you said to get it up to the reference point.
Mhm.
Yeah, just I guess explain.
or to a proper loudness that is competitive, right? You asked a different question earlier and why I did that first, and I was matching your level. So when I A/B'd, I can hear your mix and my start, which has my template on it, which is a couple of cheat codes that just get me a little closer to my aesthetic, whatever, but at the same volume as you, right? So that's all I was doing there first. When I'm using a clipper for loudness, or any mixer is using a limiter, a compressor, any sort of dynamic controller of some sort, they're trying to output at a competitive level, right? So in pop, there is like, I have to mix so it hangs on a playlist next to Dua Lipa. Like this has to hang next to Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. Like this, it doesn't theoretically have to because they're not the same genre, but if it were to come on in a restaurant, I want that shit to be competitive. So there's an average level of what records are sounding like that turn heads, right? That win.
Yeah.
So I need to know that. It's my job, and that's what I'm doing with that.
I think
Sorry.
I think you should start using we've got OG Volta in the chat, and they said
OG.
because a limiter limits your potential.
Yeah. That's
I
a
like
great
that
answer.
Yeah.
Mark
That would have silenced me for
Yeah.
at least the next hour.
Leave it to Raul or Mark, whoever said that.
Much
They're
love,
both
guys.
geniuses when it comes to sound shaping. This is not a great answer. I hear a limiter more than I hear a clipper until you hear a clipper, right? Like a clipper is more forgiving until it clips, and there are ways to use, the knee to soft clip or not. And a limiter I hear as soon as it hits. As soon as like I see a red fucking bar, I hear the clipping, and I know I'm hearing it. It's not some psychological thing. As soon as I instantiate it, I hear it even at 0.
Right.
It's
So-
nipping transients versus a clipper is shaping the transient. Like it's using, on this one, I'm using a square wave, right? So it's square waving off every transient. So it's changing the transient, but it is shaping it. It's not reducing.
Right. And like you mean hard clip. It's such a hard clip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Last. I'm sorry. Just as soon as we started talking about sound in terms of like feet, I feel like I need some time to reset. but like
30 feet.
It's physics. I mean,
Like-
this is mixing is mathematic, right? Like you're not supposed to think of it mathematically. We're supposed to be creatives and we're supposed to be artists. But part of understanding what it is to be an engineer is understanding the mathematics of it and letting that exist in the background. So me knowing that helps my process. I don't talk about it in the mix. I'm not thinking about it in the mix, but I
Yeah,
know
no,
it,
totally,
right? So
totally.
it's part of my job to know that.
Right. Couldn't I mean I guess what I wanted to ask is like by putting that on the mix to start, like if you decided you wanted to turn up the bass like 10 dB.
You can't.
Yeah, you can't. But
Impossible.
I guess the argument would be like unless everything is really quiet, you couldn't really do that either. It would just actually be clipping.
Oh no, you could. Well, so
But-
that's what we
but-
do. This is what we do in Atmos, right? I could talk about this for like 2 more minutes.
Okay.
Why
yeah.
I love the Atmos spatial audio mixing at the moment is because there's rules and regulations. You actually have to deliver a mix between -18 and -20 dB, or Apple will kick it back to you. Like it'll tell the label this is not a valid file.
Yeah,
You can't, right?
okay.
So because of that, you have 18 dB of headroom until 0. So I could theoretically boost 18 dB, which I have done in an Atmos mix, of 60 hertz, for example, of low end. And you're getting bass that you've never felt before. And it translates to the headphones because whatever algorithm Apple's using to normalized for spatial audio, you feel that bass more than you will in a stereo mix.
Mm.
So it is based on headroom. So if I were to sneak down your mix, which is at like minus 8.8 to minus 10.8, I now have 2 more dB of headroom that I can use for whatever I want. Low end takes up more space, so I might only get more low end out of it. Then you'd have a more hip hop version of this mix, right? Like a little more low end focused. And if we wanted to take this to top 40, maybe I would go 5K and up more with that headroom. But you're choosing where to shape and use that headroom. But yeah, if you wanted more low end, you have to turn everything down.
Yeah.
Right. This is what gain structure is.
Right.
And understanding.
So-
I love that.
Yeah,
to be
if you
honest.
wanted to turn up the bass 10 dB, you'd have to turn everything down
Mhm.
and then have enough headroom so that you have 10 decibels of headroom
Right,
in the
right.
low end, which is going to hit your limiter harder, and you might have to like turn that down.
Mhm.
So everything changes if that thing you had to have that happen.
Right. And why you would put the clipper on first instead of just like clip gaining everything to start is both, so you still
I did
have-
both. You just didn't see the clip gain part.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
I do both.
Okay. You're such a wizard.
Yeah.
Get like a little wizard hat or something. Yeah.
I always wanted some like medieval Japanese
some sort of
armor or
cloak.
That would be
something,
tight.
like-
Yeah, it would
Um,
be fitting.
The,
Yeah.
But yes,
It
when I
would be
start a
fitting.
mix, I'm normally clipping down to start the mix, to give myself about 6 dB of headroom. And then
Okay.
work from there,
Yeah.
which makes my job more fun because I actually have to work. Some mixers I know, obviously not going to call anybody out. They just leave it the same. And they just like give you a little couple of moves and send it back. I always work, and it's for my own sake because I don't want to say yes to a song if I don't want to work on it. So now my counter argument to that to myself is sometimes you say yes to an album and then there's a couple of songs on the
Yeah.
album that you really just don't really love, but you've already agreed to the gig. I still will work really hard on those, but I might leave them closer to where they were just because I'm not
Yeah.
overly inspired by them to do that.
Yeah.
But when you're inspired by a record, by a producer, by an artist, by anything, you say yes to it, I'm going in on it.
Yeah.
And that means I'm going to hear it away. And in order to get it that way, I have to give myself what I need, which
Yeah.
in my terms are headroom.
Headroom.
In Topo Chico.
Yeah.
Topo
And
Chico.
Topo.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just absolute final.
No such thing. You're
on
going to
that
come
note.
back in 20 minutes with like
I
18
will,
more.
but I've got to marinate with all this for a little bit. But when before you
Marinate
said
on the break.
you mentioned that like none of the people you consider to be like top mixers are working without something on the mix bus. Like why, or you'll lose. Why do you say that?
Oh, man. It's going to sound completely disconnected, too
But-
quiet.
But why do it at the start instead of at the end?
You're making decisions into it,
Mhm.
right? If you do it at the end.
Because you know it's gonna be there. Is what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Valid. That
Every
makes a lot of sense.
decision, right? Like, okay, I'm an extreme case, so I'll just use myself. I use solid numbers, for example. If I'm doing a cut on an EQ, it's like -4, -4.5, -5. So if someone says, hey, like, this is like a little bit too far here, like I can just use round approach numbers to do it. I'm not going to just like leave it at -4.38 because Pro Q2 lets me do that. Like no gear historically has ever had increments in .002s.
You can't
Like,
even hear it.
can't even hear it. It makes no sense. So I make decisions feeling wise, and when I see the number, I type in the closest to it for my own sake, right? You're giving yourself some sort of it's like a bit of a handicap, like to making decisions for after the fact. And I'm an extreme case. I don't think everyone does all these things, and I don't think everyone should do all these things. So I guess what I'm saying is, before getting back to work, is everything I do, I'm not saying that like everyone needs to do this,
Yeah, of course.
but I do think that I've been in the room with the biggest mixers in the world. My mentor was one of them, and I would see other mixers work and how they work and get sessions from them. I'm mixing Atmos now, so I'm getting stems and files from the greatest mixers, and I'm doing some of the Atmos mixes for them. Everyone has their own approach to it, but everybody is processing to some degree on their subgroups or on their mix bus, and there's a reason why. There's a taste factor. This is how I like to deliver an overall vignetted piece of music. Maybe there's some sort of shaping on the top and bottom that is making things like, that's how I would consider my mixes. There's some sort of vignette around it. It's not just like endless digital information. There's a bit of sculpting around the
frame.
top and bottom. There's a frame.
Unit.
Yeah. So everyone's going to have a version of that. Are they doing it to compete loudness-wise? Without a doubt. And if they tell you otherwise, they're lying. They're mostly probably doing it for taste, though.
Mm. Yeah, thanks. That's a great answer. Makes sense.
Should we take a 15-minute break, y'all,
Yeah,
and then
let's
come
take-
back and
Oh,
mix?
I
Or
thought this was a 15.
No, that was not. See, that's some more. That's some more like that's more juice used than that is.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
For sure.
I do think we're in a really great place with that. I could use a quick restroom break.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get back in like less than 5.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do
Let's
that.
do a 3-minute break.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like ready to jump.
We'll
Like,
be
you're all
back in-
hyped.
Now let's
It's
go.
getting me
Let's
hyped
go.
on the.
Yeah.
I want to
Guys,
make sure
thanks
the
for-
length You
Let's
know?
do it.
What do you stealing the
I'm
the,
just
the
yeah, I'm
sauce?
taking pictures of everything.
I
Are
heard
these
that.
are these
I
getting
heard that
used
we
right
get a leave with one of those.
Yeah.
Party
Yeah.
favors.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Everyone gets a
Each take
hazel rig.
knob.
Everyone gets a VT5.
Yeah.
That would
Are
be
these in
hilarious.
use right now?
No.
Okay. This is.
Yeah, just the VT5 on the Mixbus. What up, everybody? We're back. We just took a little break. Continue talking about limiters.
What up? What up?
We're not going to talk about limiters anymore.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to
Andrew's
mixing.
Andrew's limiter conversation's
Limited out.
canceled.
Literally limited.
I do like OG Volta's perspective on it. It does. I know that they're making a joke, but it does limit the potential of a sound. It can also fully realize a version of a sound. This thing has been attached, and you just have less room to maneuver within it once it's on, right? Like without a limiter on, you can do more things with it, and that's why it limits the potential.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna fucking mix.
Yeah.
If we need to de-ess more, we know where that's at. And you want to not have that thing. I'm gonna actually just do that right now.
No, I'll be alright. Is it even that you're in? Know that I'm the captain. No, I'll be alright. Is it even?
Meet in the middle.
No, yeah, we're going down.
I'm definitely under the impression that you need to keep it human. You need to keep it. There's something in there that catches the ear that's not perfect. It actually keeps you in.
I think I went too far.
Know that I'm the captain. No, I'll be alright. Is it even?
Get my hand on the parameter.
Oh, yeah, cool.
No, I'll be alright. Is it even that you're inside? Make it turn and face away. Stand and watch it stand while your world just fades away. Chasing your own tail. Stand and watch it stand while your world just fades away. Stand and watch it stand while your world just fades away. I've changed inside. And I dash and walk beside you. Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain of a ship caught in a storm? Wanting to be someone that you've been since you were born. As the waves crash all around you, you say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all. And how I've changed inside. And now power to the engines, fight against the tide. Know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides, make you turn and face away? Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy in leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this soul was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before. Learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this soul was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better. Push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this soul was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so eating at your insides, make you turn and face away. Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy in leaving it behind.
Fuck!
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't
Let's
love
get another one of those on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck's happening?
Yeah. What is happening?
It's just the first time that we were here, this plugin Gullfoss, which is like a
It's just not working.
no, it is, but it
Not
like
again.
defaults at the absolute
happened.
max. Like
Yeah.
usually you would use it like 10, 15%,
We didn't check,
and it
did we?
defaults at 200%.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Why
It
would
sounds
it,
great.
Yeah.
why would it happen again?
Haunted EQ.
Is it just because of the computer here? I don't know. It's bizarre.
Doesn't happen in my studio.
Because the template doesn't happen on my
Yeah, I
place.
was about to say we need some more of that.
Eating at your insides, make you turn and face away. Can you stand to watch and
I'm so excited. Wow.
How many times have you guys done this?
This is our third episode.
Oh, cool.
eating at your insides, make you turn and face away? Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away. You may end up finding joy in leaving it behind.
All right, so it's the right one on everything else. No, not on the keyboards.
We have another Gullfoss or Go.
But it's right on the guitar. What the fuck?
No way.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go like mix it the
Gullfoss,
right way, because that's not like gonna be okay.
Eating at your insides, make it turn and face away. Can you stand away?
Wow, I knew it, because I was doing a vocal thing, and I was like, this is not changing. This is not changing. Fuck you, Gullfoss.
Gullfoss.
Does your passion walk beside you?
Yeah.
Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain of a ship caught in a storm? Wanting to be someone that you've been since you were born. As the waves crash all around you, you say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside, and now power to the engines, fight against the tide, know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides, make it turn and face away? Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy in leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this.
Okay, that's better.
And it's also
Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this all was meant for me. Don't push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this all was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's getting there. Okay.
it's crazy.
All right, it was only on the lead vocal, really, so I'm
John, we have some great comments. Spectrum Master says, "Thank you, John, for continuing to share. 3 for 3 when it comes to dope streams, brother. Stay blessed."
Wow.
And then AGAB23 says, 3 for 3, good mixes. 2 for 3, 200% Gullfoss.
Wow.
Coincidence? I think not.
It's not.
Andrew's convinced it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's no coincidence.
There's no coincidence.
No, I'm back to my normal on this one.
For sure, bro. There's a cloned computer happening underneath all of this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
John,
Yeah.
I don't know if this.
JJ, move the mic over,
Okay,
please.
sorry.
Thank you.
The goal.
Do you mind just A-Bing what the Gullfoss is doing to the vocal?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I will A/B the background as well as. Can I do that?
The Gullfoss gremlin.
Cool.
The ghost of the Gulf.
send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need.
I don't know. It's so subtle, but it just like gives this like warmth
Yeah.
to it,
Yeah.
musicality to it. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, I guess it's supposed to be taking out the bad and
Boosting
enhancing the good,
Right.
whatever that means.
Yeah.
It sounds like a chain almost. You
Mhm.
know, like when you A/B it, like it's almost like a really subtle chain. But it sounds great.
Sounds great.
For
But now
sure.
I'm using it in my normal mode, which is, well, actually, I'm not because, sorry, that's wrong. On the lead, I'm using it differently because it was at 200, now it's at 50. It was just doing too much dramaticness. But I usually only tame 4% and recover 4%.
Learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this song was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line.
There's always something harsh on that note. I gotta sort.
Now push me in a straight line. Send me back to shore.
It's definitely on the lead.
Now push me.
There it is.
Now push me in a straight line. Send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better. Now push me in a straight line. Learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this song was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line. Send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before.
That sounds good. That sounds good. A little more top end on the.
Learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this song was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line. Send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before. Is it eating at your insides? Make you turn and face away. Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy in leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. Slowly learn. Slowly learning how to love. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this song was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line. Send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I
never really do this, but I'm gonna try to make the vocal quieter.
Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this song was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before.
John, do you ever think about like certain restaurants when you're mixing? Like this is such a Bacchetti song. You know?
It's a very you and I question there.
Yeah.
No, but I did. I know you said Narcos, but I felt more Italy
Love it.
when I was listening to this,
Love
or
it.
like Basque
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
When that guitar comes in,
Yes.
like it's a little bit more Mediterranean. to
Let's
me.
go there.
Yeah.
What's the name of that like river system in Italy that you can get serenaded? Like
The gondolas in
Well,
Venice.
just the Venice
Yeah,
canals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Venice canals.
Yeah.
Gondolas,
For
yeah.
sure,
Yeah, it's
Venice
definitely
canals.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this song was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this song was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
You slowly got to bring bits into this, but that's sounding
You're cruising, man.
perfect.
You're pretty good at this, man. Give you 50.
You should do this more.
50 on my
You
next
should
track.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
My rate just went up
Yeah.
$75.
Yeah. Exactly.
75.
Exactly.
2.5.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Why does this keep happening? It's like the
A
keeps
flimsy.
falling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
This is definitely some paella right now.
is that coffee that you're drinking?
Straight whiskey on ice.
Yeah.
It's great
are
for
you
the
like
high end.
are you a big coffee drinker? That's so sad.
It's just too much.
That's so
Too much.
How do you feel?
Did-
Yeah, I guess really important,
I know.
really
I know.
important
This-
stuff.
This podcast.
How do you feel later in the day?
Off coffee.
Do you have a
Good question.
thing?
I'm aware of the half-life and quarter life of caffeine being extremely long into the evening.
It's like
and
6
I
or
care
8 hours. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
So I
but you
care-
don't feel it once it even though it's dissipating.
Yeah, but it'll affect your sleep, your REM sleep. I care a lot about my sleep. I go to
Okay.
bed at like 9:15, 9:30, unless like I really have to work super late on a record.
And you're drinking coffee now.
What time is it? Yeah, I usually cut off at 2.
Okay.
So it's
okay.
just about 2.
Yeah.
Just about time to cut off. And then if I'm like gonna be social and go out later, I'll like have one at 4 or 5.
Okay.
It doesn't affect my sleep, but I know it's affecting my sleep just because of like listening to doctors talk about it, I guess.
Mm.
I feel-
How many cups are we talking?
I don't
Up
do.
until
I do espresso.
two? Okay.
So 3 shots of espresso totals the caffeine of 1 cup of coffee. So
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's less caffeine in espresso. It's just
Yeah.
more concentrated, so you get that thing.
What's the volume?
Yeah,
of
what's the
espresso shot?
shot?
There's set. No more than 3 or 4.
Okay.
So I usually do about a cup of coffee.
What time do you wake up?
7.
Okay.
7:30.
That's a good one. That's a lot of sleep. It's
Yeah.
like 10 hours of sleep.
Yeah, so I learned pretty recently, it's like 9 to 10 hours of sleep, that I've had at least 2, maybe 3 concussions in my life, and that people that have concussions need at least 8 to 8.5 hours of sleep. Otherwise, they just don't really function, and I've noticed that. I learned that about a year and a half ago on some neuroscience podcasts, and ever since I've been getting 8.5, I feel great.
Nice.
So I usually do 9 hours of sleep.
Yeah, this is probably for after the podcast, but you should get one of these rings that Linus and I wear.
The Oura ring?
I was
Yeah.
just
You have
about
an
to-
Oura ring?
Yeah.
What kind of REM are you getting,
I
man?
I don't like rings,
I
so
understand.
I wish I had an Oura ring.
You can put it on like your toe, maybe. yeah.
Toe ring is
Yeah.
definitely worse in my head.
Yeah.
I do want to track it, though. Listening to people like Matt Walker speak on it, he's an advisor on the Oura ring. It's like they're not really as accurate as
Yeah.
they
As
claim,
like a
they claim
full
to be.
test, yeah.
But that's
I
good for me.
sleep well,
Yeah.
meaning like I wake up rested most of the time, unless I've had like red wine later in the evening before that.
Mhm.
2 glasses of wine mess me up. 1 I can handle good sleep on. But coffee, I love espresso. But it's got a shot of espresso, 70 grams of milligrams of caffeine versus like 200 in a cup of coffee. So you can have about 3.
I've literally been getting like 10 to 15 minutes of REM a night for like months.
Really?
Yeah.
Like 1 to 15. There's a lot of nights where it comes
Just
out
don't-
as
just
1
don't
minute.
need it.
Yeah.
Just don't need
Do you
it.
smoke?
For sure.
Oh, well, that's the main cause of it.
No,
Yeah,
definitely,
main cause of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I care a lot about sleep. I care a lot about how I feel, right? So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm better at my job when I feel good. So, but I love caffeine.
That
Yeah.
mix
And there are no studies that show significant negativities of caffeine in high amounts, like even above 600 milligrams a day.
Thoughts on yerba mate?
Highly into it, don't use. But
Respect.
full supporter. of it.
Respect. Yeah.
Just love espresso. I love the idea of it just being done in 2 to 3 sips. It's
Yeah.
almost like a glass of wine where it evolves throughout the sipping of it. Like the 3rd sip is always different than the 1st. And I think the thing I like most about beverages, food in general, is like the evolution of the
Yeah.
taste. Like last night, you know, I told you guys outside, I like drank a 1985 Spanish Rioja, and like that's my conception year, you know, it's like 37-year-old bottle of wine, and from start to finish it was completely different wine.
Yeah.
You know, and they that's what I like about the wine. I like the
Yeah.
story about it. Same thing with caffeine and the espresso. It's like I'll import like weird fermented beans from all over the world. And
Inside.
I'm like into really
How do you make it? Like French press or?
no espresso
Or
machine.
no, yeah,
I have a
right,
really good
right, right,
espresso machine at
espresso.
home, and I make my girlfriend and I espresso every morning.
What's the
and
brand?
it's fun. It's called a Decent Espresso Machine.
Yeah.
It's a tablet-controlled, like automated machine.
Yeah.
So like you
So
dial in your
wake up and,
preset,
like, hit the button.
and turn it on,
Yeah.
and then it moderates pressure and flow for you. But it's like a very professional
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
pull every time, and the creme is perfect every time.
Nice.
I like it when they give you a little shot glass of sparkling water too
Oh, yeah.
with your espresso. That really helps.
It's the move.
Yeah.
Someone said bathroom must be getting it. Yeah. What's your
Yeah.
what's your bathroom
Yeah.
count?
Oh, yeah, I'm not ashamed to talk about that.
Some
I
important
have
questions.
very regular,
Everyone
Um,
leans forward.
very regular bowels.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Good shit.
Gotta
Yeah.
Good shit.
Yeah.
I love that we're talking about this. I'm very, not-
Advocate.
yeah.
I'm like 5 or 6 times a day.
Yeah?
For sure.
Oh
Caffeine
man,
snacks.
yeah, I'm probably just shy of that.
Just quick
That's
though.
great.
Quick, like not spending a
Gotta
lot of
get the
time.
savers up.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of dudes in a room.
Yeah.
The caffeine definitely helps with that. I also subscribe to the newest conversation with Dr. David Sinclair from Harvard, talking about NMN and NAD boosters.
Nice.
And NMN, precursor to NAD, will also kind of regulate your urinary tract, and I spend a lot of time peeing because of it, and I'm a very regular human.
Nice. It's awesome.
Let's go.
And we could talk about, that's like my favorite thing to talk about, but we should probably be mixing.
No, for sure. For sure.
But that's what I care more about
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that helps inform this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
kinda-
we'll have some time after
Yeah.
we can
To
get
discuss it
in.
further.
Carol,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Thanks for the bowel question,
Yeah, of
whoever
course.
commented.
Shout out.
All right, I'm going to start bringing back
There's
everything
applause.
one by one and seeing how we're lining up here.
Let's pause.
I want that kick to feel fucking big.
Chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. Slowly learning how to love. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this all was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this all was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. Oh, because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than.
No, go.
Just a super quick question. I was noticing like on the bossa uke and a couple other things that you're using like you're doing the limiting and then the transient designer.
Yep.
What again? Just simple version is cool, but what are you achieving?
The
through
feel.
that?
You just want to feel the bounce, the best version of the performance. Bring out all the subtleties of the bossa.
Using the limiter.
Using
and
the
then- and
limiter.
then bringing the transients that were lost back.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah, the limiter is giving there's a bit of a looseness to the performance that's kind of charming, but when all three of them are in, it just
Yeah,
drives the
yeah.
record. That's why we're talking about bringing the duet out. It's like,
Totally.
Well, you keep talking about the performance too, and it must get really frustrating when like you're mixing like not a good performance, and
thank God it's rare for me at this level of my
and
career,
I know,
but
and thank God, we have someone like Taylor who's such a proficient
Yes.
player on this, and then you actually get to bring something up. But like,
yeah,
I feel like creatively, if you're trying to like fix it in the mixing, like God,
I'm just trying to maximize.
I know
If
exactly.
the timing was like a mess, would you try and fix it?
No.
Yeah.
Would you just rock? Like, what if it was like really bad?
It
But, like,
shouldn't get to me
otherwise-
like that.
otherwise-
Right.
Like otherwise perfect track. Just what if? we
I'll
had
mess
come
with some
in-
background timeline stuff if it's like obnoxiously bad and flamming in not a cool way. But I don't. It's not my call. It's not my.
Yeah.
It's not my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm hired to like executive produce or like additional produce and finish something, then maybe. But then they'd have to pay me more.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember how you recorded Taylor? It's like
Yeah. It was I had just gotten like I had that Townsend Sphere mic for a while, and I was really excited after this album came out to just go crazy on some new gear, and
Mhm.
I had just gotten this U67, and yeah, I don't know how much it really matters to the people, but I don't remember if I was using the Neve or the TG2, which now is what I prefer.
Yeah. TG2.
But yeah, it's amazing. I didn't figure out how to like set it right, and it was hissing crazy when I first got it. But a mix of that, and then I honestly didn't really do a whole lot. I probably did some lighter variation of what you did on like limiting, and then like I did go in and time it. Taylor is a great player, but I had the same thought that you did. Like there's like 3 things happening that were all a little too loose, and like
I'm also remember, like, as I'm emboldening everything else, like, then the uke has to come to that, right? So I need to bring more of the uke out. So I'm just, instead of just turning it up, I'm noticing the feel and the quiet bits are a little too dynamic when you're starting to get the bass loud and everything. Like, it's a cascading effect, right? Like,
yeah, no, I that to answer your first question you asked me, that actually I did buy that Faraday or Faraday limiter.
Yeah.
And I have been using it a lot, and I like with the mentality that I had never heard before since I was here last, of like finding like the little details and bringing them out more is really cool. Usually I feel like my whole mentality with limiters is just like louder.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of it.
Yeah, but
I want to know the details. What can we maximize out of this?
It's cool. And again, in like Taylor is definitely someone that's got good details. It's not, there wasn't a whole lot that I was like trying to hide in what he was playing. He just played it really well.
Yeah.
And also when it's a live performance and not just like a MIDI performance or something that's, you know, perfectly to the grid or anything like that, there are details. There's like human details in it that can be you know, pushed forward. Yeah.
On that note, we should listen to The Inception.
Yeah.
Which will contain a listen down of only the vocals and the ukulele.
That sounds great.
Just for fun.
Campfire time.
Campfire time, exactly.
Campfire time.
Does your passion walk beside you? Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain of a ship caught in a storm, wanting to be someone that you've been since you were born? As the waves crash all around you, you say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside, and now power to the engines, fight against the tide. Know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides, make you turn and face away? Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy and leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this all was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before.
Cheers.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sounds great.
That sounds good. Okay, and then I wanted to do a listen down. That's where I was at. But now that I hear that, still like, can we get more of the uke? The vocal just feels really like forward in an amazing way. Just like, I want to envelop it into the mix a bit more.
I feel like that push me in a straight line, send me back to shore part towards the end. Like, is there a natural way we can just tuck the S's a tiny bit more?
Yeah.
It's like just those 2 lines, I think.
All because I wanted something better. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it
backgrounds a bit.
Crazy as it is.
It's great, well done.
Crazy as it is. Crazy as it is. Crazy as it is. This all was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line.
The cucumber.
Push me in. Now push me in a straight line. Straight line. Straight line.
Music really is.
What?
Keep going. guys.
Elaborate.
I want to hear it. I want to
That's-
hear
that's
what you're
it.
gonna say.
Alright, that's
Now push me in a straight line.
just music is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now push me in a straight line. Send me back to shore.
What is?
That's a great question, my friend.
Shore. All because
That's the big one right there.
send me back to shore.
All right, we'll get there.
I know. We
We'll get-
are.
Do we have any more kebab left for that conversation?
There's a lot of kebab in there.
Straight line. Send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this all was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line. Send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better. Push me in a straight line. Send me back to shore. All because I wanted something. Send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before.
That sounds a lot better.
Yep.
One really, if you don't mind just trying this for me for a sec.
course.
I can't believe I'm not remembering if there's a background vocal stem over that part, or I don't know if you added something. It's not just the lead, is it? There's
There's
also
a double.
harmonies. Yeah.
Learning how to love you.
On the line, send me back to shore. Can we try on the double, just nudging it back like? It just feels like the whole thing is just a tiny bit late behind.
Push me in a straight line. Send me back to shore.
That should have been done on my part, but
Send me back to shore. All because send me back to shore. All send me back to shore. Send me back to shore.
Uh-huh. I think the back is better.
Send me back to shore. All because I wanted something. Push me in a straight line. Send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better. Push me in a straight line. Send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before.
thank you. That was way better.
You're welcome.
Sounds really good.
All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before.
Okay.
I like that take that you guys that the song closes out with the vocal. Yeah, it's just Just got a little raw.
Does your passion walk beside you? Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain of a ship caught in a storm? Wanting to be someone that you've been since you were born. As the waves crash all around you, you say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside. And now power to the engines, fight against the tide. Know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating that you're in?
So that thing,
Yeah.
it's just too much. Sometimes it's like, because it's just the way it's automated. So I'm gonna just go ahead and
Just go halvesies.
like, I've already went halvesies. I'm just gonna go.
Know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides? Make you turn and face away. Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy, leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this all was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before. Now push me in a straight line, and for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before. I just need something so much. Just need something so much better than before.
Those S's are a little much still.
God, I just need something so much better than before. Just need something so much better. God, I just need something so much better than before.
Okay.
What is that plugin that was on the little dung dung uke that's like creating the thing? Or I saw it's
Oh,
like a good hertz.
it's a
plugin,
good hertz.
But what
It's
what
called
were
the
you
Wow.
automating? Is it like the wobble speed or something?
The amount. The amount.
And
And the
that's what you were
speed I
doing.
leave at the slowest it goes, pretty much.
And that's what you were doing on like the backgrounds on like the little instrumental break part too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
This thing, yeah. The amount?
Oh, that's the amount.
It's
Oh,
like the
okay.
percentage amount, you know, versus like, let me just not write over this, but, you know, if it's all the way up, I...
Really not pressed on at all, but
Yes.
just had the idea for like.
Yeah.
I've just been listening to a lot of like South American like music where like they'll like pan stuff really fucking weird and like what can we do with that triangle?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because
Yeah.
like there's a placement
thought-
for it that's just like whoa.
No, I thought that too.
But I have no idea what it should be.
No, it's so like
where
up
is
the
that
middle.
where is that on the boat that we're?
God, I just slowly learning how to love you for who you
So I would actually like to try doing. Let's see how to do this the right way. Let's commit. Might be nice to see if we just do hard pan, shaker, hard pan.
Yeah, I want that, like, also you know better than obviously anyone here.
No, I think that'll be cool. It'll be a little bit more authentic to that. Like they would have one mic and Mike a shaker guy, and then
Well,
like
and there's like a real, like, there's a fine line where that triangle becomes too much, right?
yeah,
But there's also, like, when it's in that pocket, like, it's keeping the whole thing
Yeah.
going. So yeah, I love it.
let's try that. Weird. My shortcuts are not working.
fight against the tide. Eating at your insides, make you turn and face away. Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy, leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind.
Because the uke's just in the middle.
It's
then.
beautiful. The hard
Yeah.
pan makes a lot
Hard
of sense to
pan.
me.
It's just like let it be out the way.
And your ears accept it. Like they hear it, and then they're like, okay, this is where it is.
I also
you know?
think that if you don't accept the triangle, then you should get the fuck out.
Exactly. Then you're for sure a square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're.
Shout out to him. Yeah.
I really like the triangle.
Do you know Tim Randolph, John?
I feel like I do, and I feel bad that I
No, it's okay.
like I know of Tim, and I feel like I've met him. but I
Yeah.
don't
He's here with us now.
see.
Trianglist.
Chipping away. Yeah.
LA's best
Yeah.
triangle.
Crush it.
My mom just. Jeez.
I like that version.
I didn't even. Yeah, that felt great.
I like to make new versions of the song it's just for me. It's just really fun to hear different versions of things because sometimes it might spark a balance change.
I love the campfire version.
Let's get.
Sheesh.
Almost. Need that effect at the end.
Nice.
Let me see.
Tasteful.
Cheers.
Damn.
Well.
You like that crossfit?
Love that crossfade.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wasn't quite sure about it until just now. Tried the whole mix together.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
There's a couple of rides I want to do in this section. question?
Of course.
Yes.
It really trips me out when for some reason the triangle just stops halfway through the second verse.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why that happens?
It's just because Tim is a madman.
Okay.
Wait,
He just loves the moment.
Can you play it real quick?
Know that I'm the captain. Know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides? Make it turn and face away. Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy.
Just keep it going.
Okay, thank you.
I can't believe I didn't notice that. I haven't listened to this version a whole lot, to be honest.
Got it.
Circles in your mind.
It just has to.
Good
Okay,
call,
cool.
yeah.
It does.
Know that I'm the captain. Know I'll be alright. Is it eating at
That part I kind of get it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We good. We good.
I mean, it makes sense, Andrew. It was a lot quieter in the rough, so bringing out like it, you wouldn't notice it as much.
Yeah. No, this was one where like
No, it's loud in the rough.
eating at your insides? Make it turn and face away. Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy.
Basically the song was the same minus the triangle, or maybe just the shaker, one of the shakers, and then which I think I just grouped into one for you.
Right.
And then there wasn't like a break before, but like I heard it once and I was like, yeah, sounds great.
Yeah.
But yeah, somehow
No,
I
that
never
needs to
noticed
keep
the
going.
triangle just disappearing.
Yeah. All right. I'm pretty good on it. In this room, I have to double check the balance between the uke and vocal and harmonies in my room, because for some reason, no matter what I do, I feel like the vocal's too loud, and it might just be the way this room is.
Do you mind if I steal your seat?
Yeah, of course. Please.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
sounds
god.
great.
Oh my god.
Thanks again
Please
for-
sit there.
John's in the back now.
Yeah, I'll
Welcome.
sit back here and look at my emails for a second.
Feels good back here.
Does your passion walk? Does your passion walk beside you? Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain of a ship caught in a storm? Wanting to be someone that you've been since you were born. As the waves crash all around you, you say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside. And now power to the engines, fight against the tide. Know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides? Make it turn and face away. Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy, leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. Slowly learning how to love you, who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this all was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff.
Sounds great. Are you gonna murder me if I quickly try putting a trim on something and turning it down?
A trim?
Yeah, just like a Pro Tools trim.
Can you not use the trim?
What do you want?
What do you want to turn down?
The shakers.
Just clip gain it.
Okay, nice.
Or Pro Q3?
We might also want to nudge down a little bit on that harmonic detune thing.
Me too. I'm gonna do that.
No,
No, I know it's not nailed yet. It's weird. I don't know what's happening. It's like too aggressive, but it.
I like the fuck you.
Yeah,
of
I'm
it,
gonna do a
but-
little bit. I'm gonna.
Power to the engines, fight against the tide. Know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides, make it turn and face away? Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy, leaving it behind.
I'm gonna let you take it, John. But
Uh-huh.
to me, the main, there's like one broad thing I'm hearing, and then one more specific thing that I am entirely going to trust your ear on.
Yes.
But I feel like on this verse too, like the vocal, I still think the shaker is too loud, but I turned it down like 2 dB.
Wow.
So I trust if you think it should be closer.
Mhm.
But like mainly I feel like the main is getting lost in there. But I like how loud the backgrounds are. Like I
The
know that
backgrounds might be
that's
too loud.
also taking up a lot of space.
Mhm.
And then the other thing real quick, that again, like this is something that I've literally watched you undo.
Mhm.
And I know at my current place at least I have like a huge habit of doing, because my room just isn't treated perfectly, and I just like try to remember that but
Mhm.
always do the same thing. But like the kind of like boxy like 500 400 or so frequency like in the main uke, I feel like could come down like a touch
Meaning less of my reduction, or do it even
less
of that frequency.
less of that frequency.
Yeah, I'm doing so much on that.
Oh really? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Let's go further.
But yeah, not by
here.
much.
It's right here.
Power to the engines, fight against the tide. No. Watch and stare while your world just fades away. You may end up finding joy. Does your passion walk beside you? Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain of a ship caught in a storm? Wanting to be someone that you've been since you were born. As the waves crash all around you, say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside. And now power to the engines, fight against the tide. Know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides, make it turn and face away? Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away?
I think
Backgrounds
these are too loud.
Too
yeah.
loud.
Yeah, the shaker now to me feels good. I think it was just like the mix of that and the background
Yeah.
speeding up the.
Does the triangle come in before that section for literally like 2 bars?
Yeah.
It just, it like
It's so
fades, it fades in.
So
yeah.
funny. It doesn't fade in. It just comes in.
Eating at your insides, make it turn and face away. Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades? Slowly learning how to love you.
Always got like a little lost in that.
Yeah,
like,
I
in that.
agree. And I also think that reduction in the in this guy should just be on the guitar or bus itself.
Passion walk beside you.
Oh, of course. Come on, man.
Technical stuff.
No, of course.
Passion walk beside you. Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain of a ship caught in a storm? Wanting to be someone that you've been since you were born.
Let me just listen a little louder.
Does your passion walk beside you? Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain of a ship caught in a storm? Wanting to be someone that you've been since you were born. As the waves crash all around you, you say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside. And now power to the engines, fight against the tide. Know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides, make you turn and face away? Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy and leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. Slowly learning how to love you for who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this song was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before.
It's fucking great. That sounds great. Gotta fix that wow thing, but
Yeah, can I also give you two tiny other
Yep,
things?
yep.
When
hold
you're
on,
done with
hold on. Yep.
Yeah.
Should we
Is it easy?
should we just get rid of it?
Oh, do you think so?
I don't know. It just like it keeps popping up, and I don't know if it makes it more like event
Yeah, I don't
or if
know.
it makes.
Is it?
I don't want it in
You know,
here.
I didn't put it there. I'm happy.
I think let's just.
Sorry,
yeah,
Tim.
take it out until
Mad respect.
until it comes in.
Tim,
for-
we
for
love you.
its-
Yeah.
For its real.
Rest
real
in
show.
peace, this triangle.
Eating at your insides, make it
What are your other thoughts?
Can you play the
Tim's gonna be furious.
when the vocal first comes in real quick?
Mm-hmm.
The triangle out. That
This is a
came in at the weird.
Does your passion walk beside you?
volume as before.
Oh yeah.
Does your passion walk beside you? Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain of a ship caught in a storm? Wanting to be someone that you've been since you were born. As the waves crash all around you, you say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside.
Sorry, this is so annoying. But
That's
on
fine.
the thankful, can we like
Say
just a tiny bit?
Say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all.
There's also
That whole line could be cut down. It's hitting a little loud.
and then there's also one.
Thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside, and now power to the engine.
On the beginning too, there's you can just put it from like right there.
Does your passion walk beside you? Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day?
We're jumping out at you.
Out of bed each
And then
get out of bed each.
I'm assuming you're stoked on it.
Mhm.
Do you think do you think we could lose like the tiniest bit of like brightness on the lead?
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
That's actually it for me.
Yeah.
Just something I was like again with this project. I think I don't want to speak for Linus, but we've been really inspired by like the very warm
Yeah.
sounding.
Which is
stuff
normally how
that-
I'd want to mix it. It could be
Yeah.
this room though. That's why I'm like
Yeah,
I'm
I
still
don't,
understanding it, but
Yeah,
you're hearing
no.
like
Passion walk beside you. Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain of a ship caught in a storm? Wanting to be someone that you've been since you were born. As the waves crash all around you, you say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside. And now, does your passion walk beside you? Does it wash out in the rain? Does your passion walk beside you? Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain?
closer to the uke more. That's cool. I'm also gonna check these things at home. to be
Yeah,
honest.
no, go crazy. That's
Yeah.
just again while we're here, I wanted to just like
Yeah, I felt that. I felt it more here,
yeah, it's
and
when
then it
it's
kind of when the
really
bass
kicks
comes
up.
in, it's kind of fine.
Is it eating at your
I think that'll be good throughout anyway.
Cool. Yeah, no, I full faith.
And let me just.
waves crash all around you? Say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside, and now power.
Something's clipping there, and it's bothering me. Weird. This is supposed to be automated. I only want that amount of flanger on one line.
Oh, because I want
Yeah. No, the rest of it's supposed to be at 20%. My bad. That's an error.
It's all good.
better than before.
It's supposed to be a little bit.
Say your last goodbye, thankful for it all.
It's clipping. Cool.
Thankful for it all. Thankful for it all. Thankful for it all. And how I've changed inside. Thankful for it all. And how I've changed. Thankful for it all. Thankful for it all. And how crash all around you. You say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside. And now power to the engines, fight against the tide. Know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides? Make it
Yeah, the percussion should just come in there.
That's so good.
Okay. I feel like that's the best I can do here. And I need to double check at home on a couple of things.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a bounce.
We're so grateful for you.
Thank you.
It sounds
And
amazing.
then we'll
John.
talk.
Yeah. Can we
lost JJ.
When we cut the stream, can we play you one other track?
Yes.
Partially for your ears and partially because we really want to hear it in the stream.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I'm gonna text JJ.
Shout out John.
Does your passion walk beside you? Does it wash out in the rain? Do you need a magic spell to get out of bed each day? Are you waiting to be captain of a ship caught in a storm? Wanting to be someone that you've been since you were born. As the waves crash all around you, you say your last goodbyes, thankful for it all, and how I've changed inside. And now power to the engines, fight against the tide. Know that I'm the captain, know I'll be alright. Is it eating at your insides, make you turn and face away? Can you stand to watch and stare while your world just fades away? You may end up finding joy and leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind. Slowly learning how to love you, who you've come to be. Crazy as it is, this all was meant for me. Now push me in a straight line, send me back to shore. All because I wanted something better than before. God, I just need something so much better than before.
All right.
Thank you, John.
I'm good with that for now. I'm gonna double check.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Graham. Thank you, Just for the Rec. Thank you, Moritz. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you all the beautiful people behind the boards
Yes.
Thank-
making us look nice.
Thank you all the mothers out there. Mother's Day is coming up.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Remember to get your mom.
Don't forget.
How many mothers do you think
Gullfoss.
tuned into our stream?
My mom was on the stream.
Okay.
Eating at your insides, make you turn and face away. Can you stand to watch and stare while the world just fades away? You may end up finding joy and leaving it behind, chasing your own tail, running circles in your mind.
Definitely warmer, a little bit more lush.
Yeah,
Classic,
yeah,
you know.
love it. What is such a rookie question? I'm sorry for everyone on the stream. I've only been using Pro Tools for like a couple months, but like, what is your routing to be pressing something on the Grace to listen to the reference?
Oh, it's all digital.
Yeah.
So it's an AES output from.
So is
interface.
mine. So I can I do that?
If you have a digital Grace, yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a digital Grace and a Lynx.
There's from at my spot it's routed differently, but there's two AES inputs and they're on the same button. So this is AES2. I actually don't know why they're not hooked up to that. There's probably a reason for it, but I have them on the same button, so I can go between the rough and one button, in my mix in one button.
Yeah.
It's game changing.
I just started plugging stuff in until noise came out.
Yeah.
Like I was like, sick. It's working.
So Andrew, I have a rough mix going out on the Aurora, and then my main mix, and those are going out. I put an AES card in my Aurora, and so it's going.
Yeah, I have one too.
Yeah, so you could have 1 and 2 AES out, and then 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 be your main mix.
I've got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Like,
And then you
yeah.
just plug that into AES 1 and 2 of your Grace, and you'll be good to go. And then with one flick of a button, you can just.
I'm
flip
not
between.
using like anything that I have.
All right, well, let's tune off the live.
Yeah.
Even though it was only 3 hours. Is that? Oh no, should we talk more? Is there anything else to talk about? Are we good? Is there questions in there? We should talk.
No, I mean, I think we're feeling really good.
Yeah. Is there anything in the chat that we should chat about?
I think we hit all the questions, and I kind of pinged out throughout answering some questions that needed to be addressed. But yeah, I mean, for everyone that's still with us, thanks for joining in. Linus, Andrew, everybody that's part of it, Tim, and also Taylor, right?
Yes.
Taylor, you freaking killed it. Tim, best triangle player in LA.
Yeah.
Best in LA.
Linus told us that he actually programmed that, which is crazy. Even the mutes.
Mhm.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And JJ, thank you for joining with us.
Happy to be a fly on the wall today.
Yes.
Thanks for chiming in.
I want to give a shout out to, just for the record, Moritz, of course, Denise, who helped produce this, Matt Cerritos, who helped produce this, and today for everybody who helped, Josh as well for prepping the sesh, getting us all up and running.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
We have some cool stuff coming in the future. Each episode's going to be a different crew, a different song, different genres, and sometimes even different topics. So stay tuned for next month. It's going to be really fun. And John, thank you as always for, shedding light on all this interesting stuff that we sometimes forget about and need to learn and readdress and rediscover.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I love
thank
that,
you.
I love that we've been hitting multiple genres on the
Yes.
series. I just like to showcase the music, and it can't be about anything else but that always.
Yeah.
And something like this coming across the desk makes you remember that. That's like, you're just here to hear the song. Anybody, if you can't make an 808 hit, like, you shouldn't be in the industry, like, if that's not if you can't do that, and then, if you can't hear chords and make them harmonically interesting and compelling, then you probably shouldn't be doing it too. And songs like this remind me, like, that's really where it's about. Obviously there's an energy to capturing the heavy drums, and, being a little turnt.
Yeah.
But I think something like this showcases a different element that we're missing from a lot. So I love that this was presented to me today as an option.
course. Yeah.
Thanks for
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I truly mean that.
Thank you for being open to it.
Till next time, guys.
Yeah.
And then,
Until then,
Thanks, everyone.
until
we
then.
are,
We're gonna listen to some secret music now.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to go off stream,
Highly
but
classified
appreciate you
files.
guys, everybody, for joining us. We'll
Thank
see
you.
See you
Thank
next
you.
time.
Thanks.